Hello, hello, hello. Hey, friends. My name is Svava Brooks. I'm a trauma coach. If you're here watching the replay, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate that. I love to hang out here on the internet, Periscope, and YouTube with my fellow survivors. Hey, friend, as we support each other on the healing journey after trauma, neglect, abuse, and healing after trauma is hard, but it's easier when we have a community, when we have fellow survivors that are on this journey, fighting, kicking and screaming sometimes feels like, to take our power back, right? To start to use our energy, our attention, our focus for the life that we are choosing to live now, right? So thank you for being here. And if you're here live, hey, Denise, hey, friend. If you are here, thank you. I need to lean in. What was your name? Hey, Daniel, how are you doing, Daniel? Just letting my friends know. I appreciate the hearts, Daniel. I am running Periscope and YouTube live right now. I'll do my best to keep an eye on both streams, but over here on Facebook. All right, thank you. I'm sorry to hear you're struggling, but I'm glad you're here. Hey, Sue. And what I was saying over on YouTube, I have my tribe that is sharing their comments and feedback from the book. So how we do this is that we have a Facebook group where we post the page of the day. This is a 365-day workbook. And then our group members comment and share their journey, insights, takeaways. And if you want to join us on YouTube, you can search for the name of the book, and that will get you to our live stream. And oh, thanks. Awesome, Daniel. He bought the book. Woo-hoo-hoo. We're on day 248 today, but you can join anytime, anywhere. We are happy to have you. Happy to be part of a conversation and community, because we have some awesome people here. So how are you, friends, doing today? Hey, Denise. Hey, Sue. Thank you, Sue, for joining me earlier today. I was doing a Facebook Live with a colleague from Sweden, talking about TRE, talking about tension and trauma release, one of the healing modalities that I am a really big fan of. And if you haven't explored that yet, please visit the website, David Berselli. You can Google him. Lots of fantastic YouTube videos as well. And their website, TRE for All, has a lot more information. But I'm heading to Iceland in just a couple of weeks to do a weekend workshop, TRE workshop, and also run a 3-week class at a local yoga studio. So yes, so I'm going to be busy, but I love, of course, going to Iceland, my home country. I still call it home, right? I haven't lived there in ages, but yes, Iceland is on your bucket list. That's right. Sue here is going to join me in Iceland. It's been on her bucket list too. And she's coming with me to Iceland. She's going to come and do a weekend workshop with us. So I am so looking forward to that. And we keeping our fingers crossed that the weather will be nice. Yes, exactly. Oh, I'm sorry. That the weather will be nice too, and because we're going to take a day and do some exploring in the countryside. And so we will maybe be showing up on YouTube Live or on Periscope with some live stream from Iceland. Yes, I'm happy to hold up the TRE. It's a booklet. It's a teeny tiny booklet. Unfortunately, you cannot purchase this booklet, but you can look up what it is on the trauma prevention website. I will hold that up here too, so you can screenshot that information. And you, like I said, if you look up David Berselli on YouTube or his website, he's putting up a lot of content right now. And actually the growth around tension and trauma release, it's kind of exploding all over the world right now. So, hey, Elizabeth, hey, friend, you're welcome. And also on the TRE website, you can browse for a local provider, because we are all over the world. And I also teach long distance. So I do Zoom calls where I lead people through this process. It is, yes, people can do it on their own. But it's sometimes in the beginning, especially if we have trauma, it is helpful to have someone to guide us through it in the beginning. But then this is something that you can do on your own, which I love. So, because you're going to be doing your own healing. Actually, no matter what, you're always the one doing your own healing. So, yes, I hear you. I hear you that psychedelics help some people. I have not explored that. I don't know anything about that. But I would say we are kind of in the golden age. Yes, we're in the golden age. Hey, Hamburg. Hey, friend. Trauma is tough because it is deeply embedded. Absolutely. Absolutely. But we are in the golden age of human transformation. And I believe there's just so much that we are learning about the body, the mind, and how the two work together, and our nervous system. And just speaking of, we got a comment here in Periscope, someone saying that trauma is hard to heal because it's so deeply embedded, especially, yes, if it's, childhood trauma and it becomes, right, a complex trauma when it's just we were perhaps abused or traumatized or neglected before we went through all our developmental stages, then chances are our growth is stunted somewhere. And one of those things that can also cause, guilt and shame. I thought I was stupid. I thought I was broken. But once I understood the impact of trauma, then I also recognized, wow, there was nothing wrong with me. All these ways that I was showing up in the world, dealing with the world, was so much just my body doing the very, very best it could to survive, right? So yes, Sue says truth, but it is doable in time. Absolutely. And again, that's where for me, really reconnecting with my body. You can see my curtains are moving. I'm watching a little doggy. So at least she's laying down quiet. She was crying a little bit earlier. Lisa's dog is here with me. Oops, there she goes. Mama's home. So let's see, negative core beliefs from very early childhood complex trauma. Absolutely, friend. That's exactly it. It is. And again, while TRE was so powerful, I know I'm a broken record for you guys that have heard me talk about this more than once, more than twice, more than 10 times. But once I was able to activate the tremors in my body that were like chronic tension that I've been holding in my nervous system ever since I was a child, for as long as I was a child, there was no way I could release any of that. But what that does to us, it kept feeding the signals to my mind, interpreting the message that there's something wrong, there's something wrong, there's something wrong. And my mind trying to create a story. Of course, as a child, I made up a story that there was something wrong with me. The abuse was my fault. I was a bad girl. I should have stopped this. Since none of that was true, it was never my fault, but I took on those deep core beliefs. And then my body kept feeding that story. Yes, there's something wrong. Yes, you're wrong. There's something bad. Yes, you are bad. Absolutely. And exactly in combination with helping the body to relax and release literally from the inside out, which is, we need to go slow. We need to go slow, right? Especially if this has been something we've been hanging on to and has become a way of life. This is who we know we are, and we've built a world around it. We have to go very slow. And too few of our friends, and me included, going slow was what made me crazy, feel crazy sometimes. I don't want to go slow. I want this done. I want it fast. I want it out of here now. And so working with your body and then working with your inner child. Yes. Recognizing where those stories come from, right? How old was I when I started to believe that I was inherently bad? And the only way I was able to correct some of that, there's many ways, right? But what really worked for me, and I recommend to the clients that I work with, is inner child work. Really get to know the little girl that lived inside of me and lives inside of me. And I became her parent and her protector. I became her parent and her protector. And as I took care of my body, because I love this little girl that lives inside of me, I'm going to take good care of this body because I want her to feel cared for, nurtured, seen, valued, appreciated. So, no, I did not have someone ask on Periscope if I had weight issues. I was anorexic, so I went the other way. Like most of my coping went around perfectionism, control, right? I was hypersensitive to, exactly, it is a weight issue. You're right, thank you. So food issues, how we nurture and nourish ourselves, yes, that becomes an issue for so many of us, right? So thank you for correcting me, you're right. But like I said, some people, we put on the weight, other people don't eat, right? That was like the only thing I'm gonna control, right? So much was done to my body that was not out of my control. The control was taken away from me. So I'm going to do what I can with the things that I can control. So yes, I hear you, friend. I hear you. It's a lifelong journey. It is a lifelong journey. So let's see here. Denise said, slow for sure. Feels like I'm crawling. Yes, I hear you, friend. I hear you. Feels like we are crawling sometimes. And some days it feels like one breath at a time, one breath at a time, one breath at a time. Elizabeth says, I protect my inner child and she is thankful. Yes, exactly. Right? For how long have these wounded little children, boys and girls that have lived inside of us, been waiting for a safe person to show up to protect them? Right? And if we, part of working with our inner child is that we become adults. We finally kind of grow up by taking care of this wounded part of ourselves that sometimes otherwise throws tantrums and takes charge and runs our lives because nobody else is showing up to do it. So inner child work, again, is very powerful for that reason too. And also how we learn to kind of come and be present for ourselves and help ourselves handle some of the hard feelings, to create a safe space to allow ourselves to express the hurt. And so hard for us for so long to get in touch with our feelings and express them in a healthy way. Hey, is it Paul? Hey, Paul. Sorry, guys, I have to lean in, my aging eyes. Good to see you. Hey, Wanda. Hey, friend. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. We're on a roll. We're on a roll. Nope, I have not heard of Wendy. There are so many great, I'm going to write that down. while I catch that. Great, lots of great people out there doing really great work in the world. So glad you're here checking us out. And today's topic is, you guys ready? I shouldn't ask. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up the topic of our conversation today. And then we have 2 questions that I'm going to put out and here for us to share and comment. So please feel free to join in. And also I'll do my best to keep an eye on any comments or any additional questions. But like I said earlier, along with the workbook that we are going through together, 1 page, 1 day at a time, book is available on Amazon or Kindle. We do have our closed Facebook group where our group members comment and share their journey. So some questions that help us to make contact with our authentic self, right? We already talked a little bit about this, right? Why do we struggle? Why trauma is hard to heal? We disconnect. When we disconnect from our bodies, we disconnect from what it is to be human, right? What it is to feel and trust. We are just constantly navigating our life depending on outside information, what's coming at me. How can I stay safe? So part of healing is to reconnect with all the parts of ourselves. We talked about the body, we talked about the inner child. And so the questions today, let me set it up a little more, right? It can be a shock, right, for us to realize that we haven't. Yes, exactly. Dissociation is a big part of that, dissociation. And again, that's an automatic response. It's an automatic response until we understand what's happening inside my nervous system, what's happening between my thoughts and feelings that is making my body think that there's too much, I need to check out, I need to leave. So it can be a shock, right, to realize how often we don't allow ourselves to feel, right, to feel joy, happiness, and fulfillment. Yes, yes, yes. I hear you. I hear you. And those are, right, the mind things, distraction and worry. The mind loves to stay worried. So, right, we don't allow ourselves the joy and fulfillment and happiness we deserve because our mind and bodies are focused on survival, right? It makes it really hard to feel like a unique human being, to feel ourselves, because we don't let ourselves enjoy the things that bring our true selves joy. We feel empty and numb. Right? When we disassociate, we feel numb. That makes sense, right? Because it isn't safe to feel. It isn't safe to feel, period. But fear and pain, maybe, because no one ever taught us how to take care of ourselves. And also the most important way possible, right, is by asking, what do you need, sweet Sue, dear Wanda, right? Or Elizabeth. What do you need? What do you like? What will make you happy? So I'm so sorry, Wanda, you got some foot pain going on. Hang in there. So glad that you're here, friend. So glad you're here. Hang in there. Breathe through it. Breathe through the pain. I'm sorry. So sorry. So it's time. It's time, my friends, to start asking ourselves now these questions. Even if no one ever asked you those questions, like, what do you need? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel happy? What brings you joy? It is time that we now ask ourselves those questions. And I know joy was a foreign concept, like really deep, feeling deep love and fulfillment. I had no idea. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Yes, yes. And So, but I recognized, right, that as I was starting to connect with my body and recognizing, okay, there are some hard feelings that are here that I recognized I had been avoiding, resisting, or kind of staying distracted and worried, to not really getting in touch with, because, right, it wasn't safe. It wasn't fun or pretty at all, right? And I worried mostly of all that if I opened kind of the floodgate or started tapping into my feelings, that I just wouldn't be able to stop, that it would just overflow and I would be out of control. And of course, that was something that I didn't want to happen. So slowly but surely, I found a path, I found a way. And so as we are talking about these, what brings you joy today, the 2 questions, what will give you joy today? What will make you feel fulfilled today? If that doesn't resonate for you, then please be mindful of not comparing or judging yourself, right, my friends? Because it's a normal response. Yes, thank you, friend. I've come a long ways. Thank you for asking. So, and part of starting to feel those feelings, and we talked about inner child work, is when we start to turn towards ourselves, right? I'm going to show you here, model a little self-compassion, kindness towards myself, kindness towards my body. Your body understands warmth. Our bodies understand warmth. Your body understands kind words, soft tone in your voice. So part of caring for ourselves and feeling fulfilled was for me to, how do I say this, is that now I find fulfillment every day by caring for myself, by knowing that I know how to take care of myself, that I know what I need, and I have learned what to do to take care of those needs. And there's a lot of needs that we learn we can take care for ourselves instead of handing our little girl or little boy to other people. Like, I don't know what I want. What do you want? I don't know what I need. What do you need? But starting to turn inwards and start to ask some of those hard questions. And they were only hard because no one had asked them. And I was a little nervous about answering those in the beginning. But it's like anything new, right? It changes over time. And the kind of the little bit of a trick that I used that helped me a lot with this was to practice gratitude. Thank you, Elizabeth. I hope it makes sense. A little preachy today, but hey, here I am. So gratitude, like they say, gratitude is the fastest way to joy. So when I didn't believe it or believe that I would ever feel joy, I'm sorry, my mom just sent me a message on Facebook. Got too many moving parts today. Was that I could still find something to be grateful for right now. I was something, and some days it was really hard. So I started as small as possible. Like, okay, what's important to me today? Well, the sun is shining. I love nature, right? Okay, I'm grateful for the fresh air. I'm glad that the sun is shining. I was glad and thankful for my safe bed, right? My house not being very safe growing up, but now I have created a safe place where I can rest at night, right? And that was important to me, very important to me. So on some days, for my soft pillow, right? It felt very insignificant, some of the things that I started with, but the more I did it, the more meaningful it became. And also, mindfulness is so powerful because it brings us into the present moment. And so often, because the reason why we don't know what we want or need is because as trauma survivors, we are living either in the past or in the future. You have to come into the present moment to know what you need. And right? And we have to think a little bit about, so what do I do today that brings me joy? That's right, Elizabeth. Everyone's needs are different, and we need to know our own needs. Exactly. So I know this can be kind of a loaded topic in a way, meaning, right? How do we know? No one showed us what a healthy adult should know and ask for or be able to do for themselves. There's a lot of dysfunction, codependency in our environment growing up in toxic households. So it is complicated, right? It can be complicated. So, but now I'm going to turn to you guys, right? What will give you joy today and what will make you feel fulfilled today? So I'm going to scroll down here and share what you have shared with us in the group. So Lori answered Reiki, 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 Reiki. I love that. Actually, I'm a Reiki master and have used Reiki for many, many years, and I'm starting to use it more and more in the work with my clients. And Reiki was how I first started to feel how I could love myself. I was harder to take it in from other people, but learning to, bring in Reiki, it felt safe. Hey, Taylor, it felt safe to start to give it to myself. And when I first started, I could not feel it. I was like, what is this? Doesn't work for me. But the more I did it, gives me so much joy. So now I give myself Reiki treatment most nights before I go to bed. And it usually puts me out before I kind of make my way all the way through my body. So huge fan of Reiki. So Denise shared with us, yes, it can. It can. He says, does Reiki help with PTSD? It can be, because it's kind of non-intrusive way to work with people. I even do distance Reiki. Few people here have felt some of that. We've done some distance Reiki here in this group. It's a very delicate energy processing. So good question, and helps the body to naturally relax. Denise says, I don't have an answer to either of these questions. Feelings have never been acceptable in my world. I hear you. I hear you, Denise. You are not alone, my friend. Can we validate, Denise? Do you know what she's talking about? The feelings were never acceptable in our world for a long time. And if we look around the world, most people are uncomfortable with their feelings. And if we're having our feelings, people would rather we not have our feelings, because when we have our feelings, it makes other people uncomfortable with their feelings. So I hear you, Denise. Yes, feelings are dismissed. And again, right, because sometimes we think showing our feelings is a sign of weakness. Not in my book. Not in my book. She goes on to say, feelings, right, have never been acceptable in my world. I'm working diligently to try and allow them, but they are all dark and ugly. No one has ever asked me what I need and want. So honestly, I don't know. Joy and happiness seem to be unreachable. I hear you, Denise. I hear you, my friend. I totally understand. I have been there, my friend. And I want to celebrate you because I know how hard you are now working to get in touch with your feelings. And unfortunately, sometimes in the beginning, Sue, maybe you can chime in here, and Wanda, and share your experience from often when we start to feel and we recognize what's in the way of the good feelings. Exactly. You're getting some validation here in Periscope too, Denise. People are understanding that it's our fear of the feelings that is often greater than expressing the feeling itself. But the more we tap into creating a space for, the feeling, and again, often the hard feelings we label bad, right? And I hear you, Denise, you say dark and ugly, is that the truth is no feelings are bad. If we're feeling it, it's actually a good thing, right? It's part of us. And what helped me for a long time, and I've told this to, a few of my clients, if it lives inside of you, how ugly and dark and bad can it be? Right? Because you are an amazing human being. You went through hard, dark, and ugly stuff, but you're not bad. And your feelings aren't bad. Your feelings are just asking you to validate the hurt that something did happen, right? And I know I'm simplifying some of this, and I do that intentionally because our mind likes to really complicate things. It's really good at worrying and spinning out and snowballing things into a really long, drawn out scenario of the worst case. So you're doing everything that you can. You're doing everything you can. Sue says here, yes, the hard feelings come first, but accepting my feelings has been key. Exactly. Acceptance, right? Use some self-compassion and some warmth. And I know when we don't know how to feel, we've been holding it tight with a lid on. It's to slowly expand and create an opening for a little bit of that to come up, just a little bit, and then we can hold back, remind our beautiful bodies and our nervous system, I'm not going to make you do anything you don't want to do. But your body knows that you were there for what happened. And it is asking you, yes, it's asking you to hold a space for it. And again, that's another one of those things when we don't know how to do it. Denise, I hear you. She says, I've always had a huge fear of being overwhelmed and not knowing what to do. Exactly. That's the biggest problem. If we would have supported, and we have been supported in feeling our feelings starting when we were small, we would know to have our feelings. But when our feelings weren't supported, accepted, and celebrated or validated, even no matter what they were, then it's, of course, we don't know how to have them. But once we recognize, and one of my favorite person that I look up to and have learned from is Dr. Margaret Paul, the creator of the inner bonding method. She often reminds her people, no one has died from feeling their feelings, but the overwhelm is a trauma response, Denise. Overwhelm is that part in your nervous system when you're tipping from I don't know how to do this, or like I think I can handle this, I think I know what to do, and it tips us over into freeze or collapse, which is then again where we just shut it all down again. So learning to feel our feelings is part of learning to work with our body. It's like we are tapping into it, feeling a little bit, and then pulling out of it again. Expanding, feeling a little more, and then come back out of it again. And in the beginning, this is where, working through this with a therapist or a coach, where someone is holding that safe space for you while you get to fall apart. There's somebody there. It's like, I got you. You're going to be okay. I'm right here. I'm not going to walk away. I'm not turning away, no matter the tantrum, no matter how big the feeling is. I got you. I see you. I feel you. You are okay. So, but again, it's one of those things we don't know until we experience it. And sometimes the fear of the feeling is greater than actually feeling the feeling itself. But we won't know until we try. So it is a tricky thing to navigate in the beginning. But sometimes writing, starting to journal our feelings is helpful. And again, that's where also inner child work is powerful, because it's easier to see the feelings when there's a part of you, a small part of you having the feeling, rather than big you having it. So there's different ways to work with that. Yes, I hear you, Sue. She says, not easy to actually accept the hard feelings, but to remember, do our best to remember, those are just feelings passing through. We are not the feeling. The feeling is just a messenger. The feeling is just information coming up. It's asking, hey, there's something going on here. We need your attention. We need your comfort. We need your presence. And again, I'm oversimplifying. I know. So, but thank you. Elizabeth says here, do you think that some people care about us at some level and try to deliver things for us, but not exactly what we need? They deliver what they are able to. I think all people are doing the best they can, Elizabeth. I'm an eternal optimist and very hopeful and naturally trusting in people, that most people are doing the best they can and caring for us, doing things, giving things, encouraging in a way that they best know how, given that most people didn't get their needs met as children or growing up. So very often we are caring for other people out of an empty bucket. Like, people are trying to give us what they think that what we need. And that's, again, what trips us up in a lot of relationships, is that if I don't know what I need, I can't ask for it. So then the people around us have to guess, right? So part of taking responsibility for our lives and who we are, and to get our needs met as adults, is to recognize what we need. And then, find relationships where there is a mutual exchange, respected, back and forth exchange. And then if you ask someone, to provide something that you need, it's also a possibility that they say, I can't, or I'm not willing. And then instead of maybe taking it personally or be hurt, is that okay? Instead of this person saying they can't do it, then let's go find somebody else. So, been married 25 years, right? It took us a long time to learn how to communicate this. But at some point I recognized I was being so resentful and hurt that he didn't do this or he didn't do that. You're welcome, Elizabeth. But what I also recognized, I would go to him and if this was really important to me, and say, hey, honey, this is just something really important to me. I really need this. And I think I need this from you. Are you willing? And then, if he would say, I can't do that, or I can't do it right now. Can you talk to somebody else, or can you go elsewhere? And nobody's perfect. I don't think we're ever going to find a person who is going to be 100% all the time, every day, there for us with and everything that we need, right? to provide for us. But we're both very independent people, and I have recognized what are the things that I can get from him, or what are the things that he can't give me. So I'm going to go and find those needs from other people, friendships, right? Through my passion, through my work, through my education, through other means, instead of, right, being hurt and upset that he isn't doing that for me. So that was a long answer, but it's an important thing to acknowledge. So often we want people to read our minds, which is crazy making for everybody. That creates more hurt than not. So let's move on here. But thank you, Denise. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. And thank you for being so courageous, for being vulnerable and honest. I don't know how to do this, right? And be compassionate towards yourself. You are doing the work. You will figure this out. I promise. If I could do it, you can do it. And I'm here for you. Sue shares with us, yes, I've been struggling to answer these questions today. Joy and fulfillment still don't seem to figure very much in my day-to-day life. Hey, friend, there's been a lot going on for me recently, and today I wasn't feeling particularly good. But I've had an idea for a stitching project in my mind for a while. Though there was a problem, I don't have a pattern, and normally I only work from patterns. I know what you mean, Sue. I need patterns for my knitting or cross stitch. But she said here, so today I started to have a go and see if I could do it without. And it's not going too badly. Sue, is that your perfectionist showing up there, Sue? I'm teasing you. Joy, she says, well, I did quite enjoy it, and it took me away from feeling down for a while. I hear you. Good, right? You found a little, just not gone very far yet. All right, take your time. Well, good things, right? And just like you said, you being able to focus your brain or your mind on something intentional, you're making something, you're putting your focus and your energy into making something, distracted you a little bit from perhaps, right, the sadness or the worry. So I know you've been going through a lot lately, my friend. So, but good for you. Good for you. I can't wait to see it. But bit more creativity than usual. There you go. There you go. Beautiful, Sue. Can't wait to see it. She also says here, but thinking about fulfillment speaks to me of having a purpose. I have felt fulfilled, for example, when I was teaching and someone finally grasped something they'd been struggling with, or I was able to bring hope or encouragement into someone's situation. Not sure that I have that sense of purpose at the moment. And my friend, that's it, right? It's sometimes a moment to moment experience, right? Fulfillment, joy, gratitude. It's actually what I have found, something that we need to practice. We need to cultivate. Just like I've shared for a long time, I did not know what, right, really tapping into deep connected love, felt like or looked like or sounded like. But it was something that I was committed to practicing. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Denise. Sue, Denise says here to Sue, you always have a purpose here. Exactly. And that's beautiful, Sue. And Denise, and I was going to say that, Sue, is that sometimes we don't always see how much joy and purpose we bring to others, right? Other people can see it, but we don't see it. So Elizabeth says, I have a purpose, but I don't tell anyone because I feel judged if I don't get them soon. I hear you, Elizabeth. I hear you. But we have to remember, my friend, that this purpose is for you. It's for you, for your fulfillment, right? And that's where being compassionate with ourselves, practicing self-compassion on this journey as we work through some of these processes and are learning a new way to be in the world, to practice. Because when we have compassion for ourselves, we can feel proud and good about ourselves no matter what, even if we didn't reach the goal. Even if we don't feel like $1 million every day, right? It's like we can still accept and be, proud and really accept who we are. So much easier to see the hard feelings, but the positive ones. So yes, I guess practice is needed. Yes, my friend Sue. Absolutely. And what do we know about the brain? What do we know about the brain? The hard feelings, the negative feelings, they stick like glue in our mind. Our mind loves worst case scenarios and to play it out and play it over and over and over and over again. Right? The positive, the more, right, what we would say good, it's like it's hard to get it to stick. It doesn't stick as well because our mind body is always looking out, what do we need to do to keep this being safe? Right? So we are retraining our bodies and our minds. It takes time. We learn to be this way. We are learning to be different. Yes. Wanda says, I didn't answer today, but listening now, I realize I find joy in socializing. I always said I like being by myself, but actually I felt safer. I know you were just visiting friends and family, Wanda, doing a lot more socializing. Good. I'm so happy to hear that, Wanda. I am so happy to hear that because you are so much fun to be around. You are a powerhouse of joy and wisdom and creativity and energy. So I can totally see it. It makes me emotional to think about that for you. That to know when you start to withdraw or to isolate, a little bit of that is okay. But when we really start to pull out away from people, chances are our trauma has taken over somewhere. Like a little girl or your inner teenager has gotten her hand on the bus, on the wheel, and it's like, yeah, no, we don't need anybody, right? Escort that driver out of the driver's seat. I got this. We're going to the Y. We're going swimming. Or no, we're going to go to the local center to hang out with some people. I hear you, Elizabeth. I hear you. And it makes sense that we withdraw. It's a lot safer. It's a lot safer. So I hear you. So when we do that, do our best to recognize kind of the symptoms. What are the signs that we know that, or we see that we are kind of withdrawing? You are so funny, Wanda. See, this is what I love about you. She says, yep, she's been driving for a long time without a license. I love it. See, we need humor in here. Trauma is so hard and dense and it hurts, but you are funny. Yes. So you need to have a word with her. Hey, little lady, you know you don't have your license, right? You haven't even, taken your test or gone through the driver's ed course. Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Denise. Oh, that makes me so happy. She says, I have been to, made a promise I would be here in this group. And I'm telling you, my friend Denise, showing up is half the battle. Showing up is half the battle. And doing it, and just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it until this brain and this body gets on board. I guess we're doing this. I guess we're doing this. I guess we're having these hard conversations. I guess we're going to be vulnerable with these people. I guess we're going to talk about some hard stuff. I guess I'm going to have my feelings, right? So awesome, Denise. I am so proud of you, and I am happy for you because we see you, we hear you, we appreciate you, my friend. Yes, we are glad that you are here. Yes. So thank you, Sue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate your comments. Beautiful. And we had some other beautiful, lovely comments from other friends that I'm not sharing here because they haven't given me permission. So publicly, I'm not going to share their comments, but starting to see that our members, right, often when we are thinking about, the good feelings that they are going to be, that there's going to be some big event, right? That often I have found the most amount of joy and fulfillment in the little things in life, right? The little moments, the little conversations. Even this one was it last night, my son coming home after first day of his sophomore year in high school. And, I sat with him at the kitchen counter and we were just kind of, right, going back and forth. I was asking him about his day and, how it was, and to see his friends and the schedule that he's got for this year. And it just made my heart sing, seeing this young man, he's 16, has come such a long ways. He struggled in school. He's high functioning Asperger's, was very misunderstood by his teachers who thought he was a bad kid, that, he was just trying to communicate. He wanted to connect, but he didn't have the social skills. He didn't understand. And, kids would bully him because he was awkward. And they were all like, what's wrong with him? So last night over dinner, just my heart just starts to sing. And I'm looking at this kid that's now bigger than me. And he's excited about high school. He's like, yeah, Mom, it's good to see my friends. And he's found his style. He wears these crazy Hawaiian shirts to school, and he shops at Goodwill. Like, his favorite thing to do is to go to secondhand stores and finds these crazy looking, colorful clothing, but he loves it. Like, this is me. Yeah, right, Sue? And it's like, that gives me so much joy. Just having that bit of an exchange. Yeah, somebody else here. My dad likes Hawaiian shirts too. Yeah, I know he's your dad, but my son is 16. So he's got a closet full of them now. He's like, Mom, I like that I rock these Hawaiian shirts. So anyways, Wanda says here, yes. To see, and again, this, my friend, is the power of groups. And this is why I'm such a huge fan of support groups. I wouldn't be here, maybe kicking and screaming, but yes, I don't know how I would have managed my healing journey if it hadn't been for support groups with peer support, like what Wanda and Denise, you guys are exchanging here. Right? You are supporting each other, right? We need to find a community where we can be ourselves, even when it hurts, even when it sucks, even when it's the most awful day we're having, right? And I've seen that in our closed Facebook groups. I'm putting that out there. If you're looking for a place where you can safely express the hard part of healing after trauma, there is a place for you. So please reach out. Please remember, you are not alone. You are not alone, my friend. And I know sometimes these support systems or support groups are the best kept secrets, but that's why I'm here on Periscope and YouTube trying to get the word out. If you come and hang out with us here regularly, awesome. We would love to see you and get to know you and support you, because your journey matters, your story matters, and we believe in you. We do believe in you. And I'm here to tell you that you already have inside all the things that you need to heal and restore. You have this beautiful body, you have your breath, you have a beautiful heart, you have a brilliant mind. We just need to know how to work with this mind so it lets go of some control so we can work with it. And being in a place like this, we remind each other what is possible and what we can do. Elizabeth says, I love self-expression through clothes. Me too, me too. Sue says, okay, so today I am grateful for the group. Yes, and oh my goodness, Sue, are we grateful that you are a part of this group, my friend. So grateful for you, your courage and your willingness to share your heart so openly. And I know all the behind the scenes support that you do for so many here. So, well, my friends, I pulled a card. Excuse me. You're welcome. I pulled the card. I always pull a card. And it's always perfect, just a randomly pulled card, but maybe someone here needed to see this today, that one day he or she woke up and decided to believe. So believe, my friends, that you too can heal your hearts. You can feel joy and peace and belonging and fulfillment. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So lastly, Wanda, are you still here? Miss Wanda, are you still here? I'm waiting for a thumbs up if you're still here. Because I learned something today that Wanda had done. I just figured out who nominated me for an award, or I'm up for this nomination with a bunch of other women, and it was our sweet Miss Wanda, who behind the scenes had reached out to my daughter and gotten some information and submitted my information to this group of women that celebrate other women in business. And I had no idea. So Wanda, you made my heart sing. I was thinking when Elisa told me, I was like, I wonder who. And Elisa looked funny, and I'm like, oh, you know something, don't you? And when she finally came clean, I'm like, yeah, that Wanda. So thank you, sweet friend. Thank you for always celebrating me. You're always, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, my friend. I'm just so grateful, so grateful. So the admiration is mutual. And I know you know that because I'm promoting you out there too. I'm like, yeah, you got to talk to these people. Yeah, Wanda needs to talk to these people. So you are just getting started, my friend. You are just getting started. we know that Wanda is one day gonna be speaking on a big platform with books published, with poetry published, just speaking truth to power and speaking about, right, what it takes to live fully. So you said you got nervous the other day when you said, I must investigate it. You're funny. You're funny. Well, I'm super excited, super grateful. People are voting for me because, you know, you have to get voted on. But unfortunately, I will not be able to be there at the day of, but they will take as many votes, right? And I read through all the women that were nominated. I mean, there's some amazing women here. So I was just really humbled to be a part of it. And like I said, I can't be on the East Coast for that evening, but I so would have loved to be there. And the thing is, if I would have had to be there, you would have had to be there. But I will just be coming back from Iceland. So, but hey, I'll stay open. I'll stay open. So yes, good, Wanda, right? That's part of it. We celebrate and we are all practicing receiving, giving and receiving and celebrating. I mean, that's joy. This is joy, what I'm feeling right here, right now, joy and gratitude. So, well, sweet friends, I am super, super grateful for all of you. Thank you for being here today. I really appreciate your courageous sharing, you being here for each other. We were talking about, you know, joy, what makes you feel fulfilled. And remember, any journey, it's not about the destination. It's about enjoying every step of the journey. And for me, every step of my journey is that I get to share it with beautiful souls, with amazing human beings. To me, survivors of trauma, any type of trauma, neglect, are, you're welcome, thank you, friend, are my people, my favorite people, because I know how hard it is and how hard we have had to fight to be here. So I get you, I celebrate you. But thank you for all the hearts here on Periscope. I really appreciate that. And thumbs up over here on YouTube. I will be back here on, wait, is it Thursday today? Oh my God, this week flew by. Do something that sparks joy this weekend, and I will see you next week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks, friends. Have a beautiful weekend. See you next week. Thank you, friends. Thanks again. Night, everybody. Okay, I will. All right, Wanda, I will ask. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. I had forgotten all about that, Wanda. Where would I be without you? Thanks, guys. Good night now.